You've seen the viral footage, the kind that circulates on late-night forums, where something moves just a little too fast in the background, where a shadow lingers one frame longer than it should. But what if I told you there's a version that never made it online? One that was never meant to be seen at all. I used to be a delivery driver. Long hours, empty streets, the hum of the engine keeping me company while the world slept. It was boring, repetitive, safe. At least, that's what I told myself. Then came the night I learned what the cameras don't show. The night I realized some houses don't want to be visited, and some doors were never meant to be knocked on. It all started on a normal Tuesday night. My last shift. The address looked like another neat little box in a long row of identical suburban homes, the kind of place where nothing bad ever happens. The porch light was flickering, weak and inconsistent, like it couldn't decide whether to die or stay alive just to mock me. I double-checked the label. The address was correct. The name wasn't familiar. Still, I rang the bell. No answer. I knocked once, then again. The only reply was the wind cutting through the hedges and the soft mechanical click of a motion sensor above me. The light steadied, burning white across the empty doorway. Delivery for... I read the name aloud, but the sound of my voice felt swallowed by something thick in the air. Silence answered. I set the package down, scanned it with my handheld, and the beep sounded strangely muffled, like it didn't echo back properly. Halfway down the driveway, I heard the creak, the kind of slow, deliberate sound that belongs to an old door being nudged open from the inside. I turned, expecting someone, anyone, to be standing there, but there was only darkness beyond the half-open door. I waited, maybe 10 seconds, my heart tapping in my chest. Hello. Nothing. No footsteps. No movement. Just that faint hum of the porch light flickering again, struggling to hold on. I told myself to let it go. People do weird things. Maybe they were shy. Maybe asleep. Maybe drunk. I left. Later that night, parked behind the depot, I decided to review the dashcam footage habit more than curiosity. The timestamp immediately caught my eye. 11:43 p.m., but my route sheet said that stop was logged at 10:07. I rewound, paused, squinted. The camera caught me walking up, placing the box, walking away. The door opened exactly as I remembered. But then, 3 seconds after I turned my back, a figure appeared in the doorway. Thin, still just standing there, head tilted slightly, watching me leave. When I zoomed in, the face blurred like static, no features, no expression. Only the faint outline of something holding the package I'd left. The next morning, I checked the system logs. Someone or something had signed for the parcel at 11:43 p.m. The address. According to dispatch records, that house had been vacant for 3 years. I told myself it was a tech glitch, until my next stop proved otherwise. The next delivery was only a few miles away, down an older street lined with leaning fences and overgrown trees that scraped the sides of my van as I drove past. The GPS said delivered before midnight, but it was barely 10. The package was light, the kind of weightless box that makes you wonder if it's empty. When I pulled up, the porch light was already on, and a man stood waiting in the doorway. Thin, pale, with a bathrobe hanging loosely around him, like he'd forgotten how to wear it. His eyes darted toward the street as if someone else might be watching. Delivery for... I read the label, but he cut me off. I didn't order anything, he said quickly. His tone wasn't annoyed. It was frightened. I offered the handheld scanner anyway. Says it's for this address. Signature required. He hesitated, glancing over his shoulder before taking the stylus. His hand trembled as he signed, messy and incomplete. The moment the scanner beeped, he shoved the package back, toward me. Take it. I don't want it. I blinked. Sir, I can't. But he was already stepping back, muttering, not again. Before closing the door, I stood there for a second, the box still in my hands, unsure what to do. Then, from inside the cardboard, a faint whisper. Asterisk, don't leave me here. Asterisk, every muscle in my body froze. I looked around, half expecting someone to jump out laughing. Nothing, just the wind. The house was quiet. I set the box down gently and backed away. When I reached the van, I glanced up. The porch light was off. The window beside the door, dark. The entire house looked empty. Back at the depot, I checked the system. No record of that delivery. The address didn't appear on the route manifest. Confused, I called dispatch. The woman on the line hesitated for too long before answering. "That address doesn't exist in our database," she said. "It was deleted months ago." "But someone signed for it," I argued. Silence. Then, "Your scanner shows no signature tonight. Are you sure you stopped there?" I looked down at the handheld screen empty log. No record, just static flickering across the display. Later, I reviewed my dash cam. The footage showed me pulling up to the house, headlights flashing against the porch. I walk up, stand there, talk to no one. The doorway is empty. The house looks abandoned. I never saw the man again. After that night, I started checking every package label twice, until one label had my own name on it. My next stop was supposed to be routine. A single box headed to the edge of town, the kind of quiet neighborhood where the streetlights hum louder than the crickets. I remember the address because it didn't look real. Faded ink, number slightly smudged, like someone had printed it in a hurry and hoped no one would notice. When I turned down the street, every house looked asleep. Porch lights off, curtains drawn tight, except one. A single yellow bulb glowed on the porch of a small, leaning house at the very end. As I stepped out of the van, the air felt thick, like the silence itself was listening. I carried the box up the walkway, scanning it out of habit, the device beeping softly. Before I could knock, the door creaked open. A man stood there, middle-aged, unshaven, eyes darting from me to the empty street behind. His hand shook as he gripped the doorknob. "Delivery for..." I glanced down at the label. This address." His voice came out a whisper. "I didn't order anything." He sounded terrified, not confused. "It says here." I started holding out the scanner. He took one step back, glancing over his shoulder like someone else was in the house. "You shouldn't be here," he muttered. "It always comes back." I tried to laugh it off. "Sir, I just need a signature." He stared at me for a long moment before finally signing, the stylus trembling in his grip. Then he pushed the box toward me, eyes wide. "Please, take it back." "Sir, I can't." The door slammed before I could finish. I stood there for a second, confused, then placed the package back on the porch. As I turned to leave, I heard a faint voice from inside the box. "Don't leave me here." I froze. The air around me felt colder. The voice was small, like a child's. When I turned back, the door was open again. The house inside looked empty, dusty, furniture draped in sheets, no lights, no sound. I ran back to my van at the depot. I pulled up the delivery log. Nothing. That address wasn't listed. When I called dispatch, the woman paused too long before answering. "That address," she said slowly, "was deleted months ago. There shouldn't be any deliveries there." I felt my stomach drop. "But I have the signature." "No, you don't," she said quietly. "There's nothing on record. Are you sure you stopped there?" That night, I checked my dashcam footage. I watched myself walk up to the porch, stand there, talk to no one. The doorway was empty the entire time. After that night, I started checking every package label twice, until one label had my own name on it. It showed up at the depot like any other package, no special markings, no fragile stickers, no signature required. But the label, that's what froze me in place. Recipient, Evan Miller Dress, Apartment 3B, Hollow Creek Residences, *, my name, my exact apartment. For a second, I thought someone was screwing with me. Maybe one of the guys at the depot had printed a fake label for laughs. But when I scanned the barcode, my handheld flickered and flashed error parcel not found in system. I called my supervisor, Dana. "Hey, I think there's a glitch. There's a delivery here for me, my own address." She sounded annoyed at first. "Then just mark it returned Evan." "I tried," I said. "It's not in the system." Silence. Then, in a lower voice, "What's the tracking number?" I read it off slowly. Another long pause. Then she said, "Evan, that number doesn't exist. We've never issued it." That's when I should have left it there, but I didn't. That night, I brought the box home. It wasn't heavy, but but it shifted in my hands. Not like something sliding around, more like something adjusting itself. When I set it down on my kitchen table, I felt watched. I told myself I'd open it in the morning, but at 3:07 a.m., a sound woke me, a soft thud, from the kitchen. When I turned on the light, the box had moved. It was now at the edge of the table, lid slightly open. Inside was a small black USB drive, wrapped in paper. On the paper, in jagged handwriting, what the camera didn't show. Every instinct told me not to, but I plugged it into my laptop. The screen went black for a few seconds, then flickered to life. Grainy footage filled the screen, my delivery routes, every single stop, except these weren't from my dash cam. These were from inside the houses. One clip showed me standing on a porch, scanning a box, filmed from a hallway mirror. Another clip was inside my van. Camera pointed from behind my seat. My stomach dropped. Someone had been following me, watching every route, every stop. Then came a clip I didn't recognize. The view was of a narrow hallway, beige carpet, peeling paint. I didn't deliver there. But the camera panned to a door. My door? Apartment 3B. Hollow Creek Residences. I whispered, "No," and felt my hands go cold. The door opened. The camera stepped inside, and there I was, asleep on my couch. I slammed the laptop shut so hard it cracked. My reflection in the black screen looked pale, wide-eyed, unreal. There was still one more file on the drive. I never opened it. The next morning, the USB was gone. I quit that job the same day. But sometimes, when I'm lying awake in apartment 3B, I still hear it, that faint beep of a scanner, right outside my door. I've thought about deleting all of it, the footage, the reports, even this recording. But some nights, when sleep won't come and the shadows feel heavier than they should, I start to wonder if I'm supposed to keep telling these stories. If any delivery drivers are watching this, check your camera logs tonight. Don't just look at what you recorded. Look at what's been added. They say, cameras never lie, but trust me, they don't tell the whole truth either. There's always something they leave out, something that moves between frames. I used to think I was the one delivering the packages. Now I'm not, so sure, I wasn't the one being delivered. There's a reason some footage never makes it to the cloud. And if you think this story ends here, it DOESN. Single quotes T. Next time maybe I'll tell you about the locker that opened by itself. Faint scanner, beep. Then static. A final glitch. Silence.